My wife faked her infertility for years, so I wouldn't find out who the father of her first child really was. You ever have one of those nights where everything looks fine on the surface, but your gut won't shut up? That was me the night I found the envelope. A plain white thing. No return address. Sitting on the kitchen counter like it had been waiting for me. My name's Colin. I'm 38. Been married to Olivia for 12 years. And up until recently, I would have told you we had a rock-solid marriage. The kind people envy. Beautiful house. Stable jobs. Inside jokes. Date nights. But no kids. Not for lack of trying. Olivia was diagnosed with unexplained infertility after our second year of marriage. I remember holding her hand in the doctor's office while the specialist threw around terms like low egg reserve and inconclusive indicators. I remember the silence in the car, her tears, my promises, and eventually, acceptance. We tried IVF 3 times. It drained us emotionally and financially. After the last failed cycle, Olivia begged me to stop. Said she couldn't take another round of hormones. I held her in the dark that night and whispered that I loved her, baby or no baby. And I meant it. We pivoted, traveled more, took up hiking, got a dog, made peace. At least, I thought we had. Which brings me back to the envelope. I found it on a Tuesday night. Olivia was out with her book club. I was reheating leftovers when I noticed it. My name written on the front in blocky, unfamiliar handwriting. Inside, one photo, a grainy security camera printout. But the scene was clear. Olivia, standing in a hospital hallway, holding a newborn. She looked tired, radiant, happy. The timestamp read, March 14th, 2013. 2 years before we got married. I sat down hard, the floor tilting under me. My brain started pulling apart timelines, trying to make sense of it. Olivia never mentioned a child, never hinted at a pregnancy, never breathed a word about a hospital. But there she was, gown, baby, smile. I flipped the photo over. 3 words scribbled in the same blunt handwriting. Ask her why. I didn't sleep that night. I just sat there on the couch, photo in one hand, my wedding band in the other. The same thought circling again and again. Had she given a child up for adoption? Had she lost a baby? Or, God help me, had she hidden a child from me all these years? The next morning, Olivia breezed into the kitchen like nothing had changed. Kissed me on the cheek. Asked if we had any more almond milk. I watched her move around the kitchen, my chest aching. I didn't recognize her. Not really. Because someone who could keep something like this from me? That wasn't the woman I married. Liv, I said, my voice rough. Where were you on March 14th, 2013? She froze. Just for a second. But I saw it. The flicker. The way her eyes darted, calculating. Why? She asked, forcing a laugh. That's so specific. I slid the photo across the counter. Watched her face drain of color. Silence. Then, who gave this to you? Not the question I asked. She looked at me. And for the first time in our entire marriage, I saw pure, undiluted fear in her eyes. You need to sit down, she whispered. No, I said. You need to talk. Now. And that's when she told me. Not everything. Not yet. Just the first crack in the dam. Enough to shatter the life I thought I knew. I had a baby, Olivia said, voice trembling. But it's not what you think. I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to believe her. She didn't cry. That was the first thing I noticed. Olivia always cried. At commercials, sad books, even that viral video of a soldier surprising his kids at school. But now, nothing. Just her hands gripping the edge of the counter, so tight her knuckles looked ready to split. Start talking, I said, quieter this time. She nodded slowly, swallowed hard, then looked at me like she was about to step off a cliff. I was 25, she began. I was engaged to someone else. His name was James. He was controlling, paranoid, but I thought I was in love. The name didn't ring any bells. I stayed silent. We lived together. Then I got pregnant. It wasn't planned. When I told him, he snapped. Said the baby wasn't his. Accused me of cheating. It got ugly. Violent. My stomach turned. Olivia never talked about her past before me. I left him. Moved back in with my parents for a while. Had the baby in a Richmond hospital. A girl. Her voice cracked. I named her Grace. The name hit me like a slap. Grace. That had been on our old baby list. Her favorite. Said it was timeless. What happened to her? I asked. She looked away. I gave her up. Open adoption. A couple in Vermont. I didn't want to, but I couldn't raise her. And I didn't want James to ever find her. You never told me. She looked back, eyes wide, pleading. Because I was ashamed. And afraid. Afraid you wouldn't want me. Afraid it would ruin us. That part felt true, but it also felt rehearsed, like a story she'd practiced until even she believed it. Then why lie about being infertile? I asked. Why go through IVF? The shots, the money, all of it? She blinked. And there it was again, the flicker. Because I couldn't face being a mom again. Not after giving her up. I thought if I convinced myself I couldn't have children, it would feel fair. I stared at her. The silence pressed in. You let me believe it was my fault, I whispered. For years. Her voice finally broke. I didn't know how to undo it. Every time I tried, it felt too late. I turned away, bracing myself on the sink. And then she said the thing that cracked everything open. She reached out. Grace. She found me last month. I turned back slowly. Olivia's face was pale, trembling. She sent that photo, didn't she? Olivia nodded. She wants to meet you. My chest went cold. Why? Because, she says James might not be the father. The room tilted. Wait. Are you saying? She nodded again. I think you might be her biological father. And with that one sentence, my whole life detonated. I don't remember sitting down. One minute I was standing there, trying to process Olivia's words, and the next I was on the floor, back against the cabinet, my hands buried in my hair like I could dig the confusion out if I pressed hard enough. Colin, she said softly. Please, say something. I looked up at her. My wife. My partner. The person I trusted with everything, who'd apparently trusted me with nothing. You think I'm Grace's father? She nodded. I don't know. I never got a paternity test back then. I didn't want James to have any legal claim. I was scared. I buried it. But you told him she was his. I assumed she was. He was my fiancé. We were still together. But then there was you. My throat went dry. Are you saying we? It wasn't just once, Colin. At that art show in Baltimore. We met. We spent the night. It was more than a kiss. We were a mess. I was engaged, and I told myself to erase it. But I never forgot. I closed my eyes, memories slamming back. The gallery, rooftop drinks, the way she laughed, the morning after, pancakes, a scarf she left behind. It wasn't just a one-night spark. You never told me you were engaged. I know. I was drowning. James was dangerous. My parents pushed me back toward him. You were sunlight for a second, and then I let it go. Her tears finally came, but I couldn't reach for her. So you got pregnant, and never thought to tell me I might be the father? I was 25. Terrified. James threatened me. When I left him, I swore I'd bury everything connected to that chapter of my life. I stood slowly, chest tight, every breath jagged. She's 20 now? Almost 21. And she reached out. Yes. She found me through an adoption registry. Sent the photo so I couldn't ignore her. And what does she want? A meeting. Answers. A DNA test. I stared. Does she know you lied to me? No. Not yet. I told her I needed time. The rage finally broke through. You let me sit with you through IVF failures. You let me believe I was broken. You let me cry, beg the universe, all while you knew you had a daughter, and that I might be her father. She flinched. Deserved it. It wasn't about not loving you, she said. It was about not knowing how to go back once I started lying. So you buried the truth. Like a coward. I was trying to protect you. From what? From my own daughter? The words hit me like a hammer. My daughter. Jesus. I walked out. Not forever. Not yet. But I needed air. Space. Something that didn't reek of lies. I drove for hours with no destination. Just white lines and highway static. My thoughts circling like vultures. Near midnight, I parked outside a closed hardware store. Killed the engine. Sat in the dark. What the hell do you do with something like this? My wife lied. My daughter might be out there. And part of me wanted to meet her, not just for proof. Not just for blood. But because the moment Olivia said her name, something inside me snapped awake. Grace. Suddenly, it wasn't just a name anymore. It was a person. A storm I couldn't stop walking toward. I came home just after 2 a.m. The house was dark. Olivia hadn't gone to bed. She was on the couch in her robe, knees tucked up, eyes locked on the doorway like she'd been frozen the whole time I was gone. She didn't speak. Neither did I. I walked past her, grabbed a blanket, and sat in the armchair across the room. We stayed like that for a long time. No words. just the ticking clock and the occasional creak of floorboards. I couldn't look at her without picturing that photo. That date. That name. I didn't want to ruin your life, she finally whispered. You didn't ruin it, I said flatly. You replaced it with a lie. She flinched. So what now, she asked. I didn't have an answer. I felt like I was watching my own life burn from outside the window. I want to meet her, I said at last. Olivia nodded, eyes glassy. She asked if she could reach out. I stalled. Don't stall anymore. Give her my number. She swallowed hard. Okay. I stood and went upstairs. Closed the bedroom door. Didn't lock it. Didn't wait for her either. The next morning, her phone was on the kitchen counter with a sticky note taped to it. Grace already texted. Her number's in my contacts. I picked it up. Scrolled until I saw the name. Grace Hartley. Her last name wasn't mine. Wasn't Olivia's. 2 messages. Grace, hey. I think I might be your daughter. Grace, a day later or not. I guess you get to decide if you want to find out. My hands shook as I typed back. Me. I want to meet. She replied in under a minute. Grace, today? We agreed on a park. Public. Neutral ground. I didn't ask for a photo. Didn't want to build an image in my head. I just told her what I'd be wearing. I showed up 20 minutes early. The air had that strange late spring chill, sunny but sharp in the wind. I paced by the fountain, scanning faces. Then I saw her. She stood at the edge of the path, watching me. Tall. Dark hair like Olivia's. Eyes I couldn't place, but something in them twisted my chest. She walked over. Calm. Measured. Grace? I asked. She nodded. Colin. Her voice was steady. No tears. No hug. Just 2 strangers standing in the middle of a story neither asked to be written into. Thanks for coming, she said. Thanks for reaching out. We sat on a bench. So, you know now, she said. I do. And I don't know what to say yet. She gave a small nod. Me either. A dog barked behind us. Kids ran past, laughing. The world went on, oblivious. You look like her, I said. She smirked. She said you'd say that. She talk about me a lot? Not really. Just recently. I didn't even know your name until a month ago. That hit harder than I expected. Can I ask something personal? I said. Go ahead. This whole thing's personal. Did you have a good life? With them? The couple who adopted you? She looked down, picking at her sleeve. It was fine. They were kind. Stable. But they never wanted to talk about where I came from. And when I asked, it got uncomfortable. So you started digging. Yeah. DNA kits. Forums. Took a while. And when you found Olivia? She panicked. Said she needed to talk to someone first. I figured she meant you. Didn't expect all this. Neither did I. Grace leaned back, staring at the sky. Do you think I'm yours? I looked at her. Really looked. I don't know, but I want to find out. If you do too. She nodded. Yeah, I want that. We sat in silence for a while. And for the first time since that photo showed up, I didn't feel rage. I felt something else. Hope. Shaky. Fragile. Terrifying. But hope all the same. We did the test 2 days later. Grace drove us to a small clinic downtown. Quiet. Neutral. I didn't tell Olivia I was going. Didn't ask her to come. She offered, though. Texted me the night before. I should be there when the truth comes out. I stared at the message before replying. You had 20 years to be honest. You can sit this one out. When Grace picked me up, she didn't say much. Just handed me an iced coffee, exactly how I take it. Coincidence, maybe. Still hit me. Forms. Signatures. Swabs. Quick. Clinical. Over in minutes. Then came the worst part. Waiting. You want to get lunch? Grace asked when we stepped outside. You don't have to, I said. I want to. We found a diner. Sat in a booth by the window. She ordered a turkey club with fries and a Coke. I ordered the same. A small ritual that reminded me of my dad, copying his order when I was her age. So, she said, stirring her straw. What were you like at 20? Dumb. Broke. Thought I was smarter than everyone. Worked construction by day, played drums in a cover band by night. She grinned. Any good? Not really. But I looked cool trying. She laughed, the first real laugh since we'd met. What about you? I asked. She shrugged. Working at a bookstore. Taking psych classes. Still figuring it out. That sounds like more of a plan than I had. Sometimes it feels that way. Other times it feels like I'm just trying to understand people I'll never figure out. Welcome to adulthood, I said. She studied me for a beat. What happens if the test says you're not my dad? Her voice was steady, but the weight of it pressed into me. Then we deal with that. Together. She blinked fast, turned away. Okay. We stayed for 3 hours. Not about Olivia. Not about James. Just life. Music. Stupid jobs. Dreams. When I got home, Olivia was waiting. How did it go? We did the test. Results in a week. She exhaled like she'd been holding her breath for years. Did she say anything about me? Not really. Silence. I'm sorry, she whispered. I know, but sorry doesn't fix this. I don't want to lose you. Then you should have treated me like someone you wanted to keep. She opened her mouth, then closed it. I walked past her and took the guest room. 7 days later, the email arrived. Subject line, DNA results available. Password, security question. Then, probability of paternity, 99. 99%. My hands shook. She was mine. My daughter. And louder than heartbreak was something else entirely. The miracle of it. I didn't tell Olivia right away. Not because I wanted to punish her, though part of me did, but because I needed time. Time to let the truth settle in my bones. She's mine. I said it out loud once, gripping the steering wheel. Once in the mirror, searching my own face for pieces of hers. That was enough. But it didn't feel real until I said it to Grace. I texted her first. Me, got the results. She replied almost instantly. Grace, and me, you're mine. No reply for a while. Then, Grace, okay. Wow. I think I need a minute. Me, take all the time you need. An hour later, she sent a voice message. Just breathing at first. Then one word that split me open. Hi, Dad. I listened to it 4 times. Saved it. Couldn't delete it if I tried. That night, Olivia came into the guest room without knocking. She sat on the edge of the bed, hollow-eyed. You know, don't you? Yeah. She's yours. She is. Do you hate me? I shook my head. I don't know what I feel. Grief. Rage. Relief. All at once. Like my whole life just got rewritten. Are you going to stay? She asked. I didn't answer. I honestly didn't know. The next few weeks blurred. Grace and I started texting more. She sent me childhood photos, stories about her foster sister, her favorite band, the scar on her knee from falling off a bike. I sent her old pictures of me, of Olivia, even our dog in a Halloween costume. We were building something fragile, like stacking stones on a windy cliff. Then one day she texted, Grace, do you think Olivia would meet me? That one knocked the air out of me. I asked Olivia. Her face went pale. Does she hate me? I don't think she knows how to feel. She just wants to see the woman who gave her away. What if I break her? You won't. She's already cracked in places you can't imagine. But she's still standing. We set the meeting for Sunday. A cafe near her bookstore. Olivia wore a navy dress I hadn't seen in years. Hands trembling as she picked up her coffee. Grace arrived 5 minutes late. Deliberate. Like she needed a breath before walking in. She sat without a word. No hugs. No tears. Just silence. Then, so you're her. Olivia nodded. I am. I have questions. Ask anything. I sat back and watched. Grace asked about the hospital, about James, about what Olivia felt the day she handed her over. Olivia stumbled through answers. Honest, but not heroic. And then Grace said something that stunned me. I'm not angry. I don't think I ever really was. I just wanted to see if I came from someone human. Olivia broke then. Quiet tears, no theatrics. Just surrender. Grace didn't comfort her. But she didn't leave either. And somehow, that felt like forgiveness in its own way. We didn't talk much after the cafe. Not because it went badly, it didn't. But the silence after felt necessary. Like aftershocks settling. Olivia sat in the passenger seat on the ride home. Fingers laced in her lap, staring out the window, as if she could see her past and the trees flying by. I let her sit in it. When we pulled into the driveway, she finally spoke. She's incredible. She is. I didn't expect her to be so calm. She's been carrying a storm inside her for 20 years. That kind of weight doesn't explode, it erodes. Olivia looked down. I don't deserve her forgiveness. She didn't offer forgiveness. She offered curiosity. There's a difference. That night, I found myself pacing the hallway. Not restless, haunted. Not by Olivia's lies, but by how numb I felt now that I knew everything. Was this closure? Was this what healing looked like? I texted Grace. Me, you okay? Grace, I think so. Just tired. Me, yeah? I get that. Pause. Grace, she was more than I expected. And less. Me, that sounds about right. She didn't reply, but it wasn't a shutdown, just her way of processing. The next morning, Olivia made coffee for the first time in weeks. Set mine on the counter without a word. Her eyes were red, but she was present. Trying. "I want to tell the truth from now on," she said. "Then start with this. Why didn't you tell me about Baltimore? About that night?" She blinked. "You remember? You said it was only once. But I remember more. Waking up with you. Pancakes. A scarf you left behind. That wasn't just a one-night thing." She leaned on the counter. It was supposed to be a clean break. James was threatening to hurt himself. My parents were siding with him. I was drowning. And then you. You were sunlight for a moment. So you buried me. Like the rest of it. She nodded. "I thought if I erased the line between us, the rest of the story would vanish too. But it didn't. No. And now I see her face in yours every time you look at me. The truth. Sharp. Inescapable." I held my coffee without drinking. "We need therapy," I said. She gave a bitter little laugh. "That obvious, huh?" "No. Just time. If we're going to survive this, we can't do it alone." She nodded. "I'll go. Even if you don't. I want to get better." "I'll go." The next day, Grace called me. Not a text, a call. "Hey," she said, voice shaky. "Weird question. But would you maybe come to something?" "Of course. What is it?" "My choir concert. Nothing big. But I sing lead on one of the songs." My throat tightened. "You want me there?" "Yeah, I think I do." I didn't cry until after we hung up. I sat on the porch steps, phone in hand, whispering the same thing over and over. She wants me there. And for the first time in months, I felt like someone who mattered again. The night of the concert, I arrived 30 minutes early. Sat near the middle of the auditorium, not too close, not too far. Enough to see her clearly without making it feel like pressure. My hands wouldn't stop fidgeting. Olivia had offered to come, but I told her no. This moment needed to belong to Grace and me. The lights dimmed. 15 or 20 young singers walked onto the stage. Simple black clothes, nervous smiles. Everyone trying not to stand out. Except I couldn't look at anyone but her. Second row, center. Hair pulled back, posture straight. A quiet presence. Until she opened her mouth. Her voice cut through like a thread of gold. Not loud. Not flashy. Steady. True. It didn't reach, it filled. And suddenly the whole room felt different. My throat closed up. It was like hearing something you never knew you'd been waiting for. When the final note faded, applause rose polite and scattered. I didn't move. Just watched her bow with a shy, almost disbelieving smile. Afterward, she found me in the lobby. "You came," she said. "Of course I did." She looked down at her shoes. "I was afraid it'd be weird." It was, I admitted. But good weird. She laughed, then handed me a folded sheet of paper. "I wrote that song. The one I sang lead on." I unfolded it. First line, "I was built from echoes, but I made a sound of my own." My eyes stung. "You wrote this?" It started as a journal entry. Then lyrics. I never thought I'd sing it out loud. "It's beautiful." She shrugged. "I just wanted you to hear it." I tucked the paper into my coat pocket. "You want to grab dinner? Just us?" She smiled. "Yeah, I'd like that." We found a Thai place nearby. Talked about everything and nothing. I learned she liked rainy days more than sunny ones. That she kept a list of words she found beautiful. That she collected postcards from places she'd never been. At one point, she looked up and said, "I'm still figuring out how to be someone's daughter." I nodded. "And I'm still figuring out how to be someone's dad. Think we'll get there?" "I think we already are. Just not the usual way." Her eyes softened. "Thanks for showing up. Thanks for letting me." That night, when I got home, Olivia was waiting on the porch. "How was it?" she asked. She sang something she wrote. And it was incredible. "Did she talk about me?" "No, but not cruelly. Just like it wasn't your night to be in the story." Olivia nodded. "Good. It shouldn't be." We sat together in silence for a while. Then I said, "I want to keep seeing her." "You should." I turned to her. "I don't know what that means for us." She didn't flinch. "I know. We'll figure it out. Or we won't. But whatever happens, I'm glad she found you." The moon hung low and soft that night. Like everything had stopped trying to be explained, and just was. For the first time in a long time, I wasn't scared of what came next. Because sometimes, the truth doesn't shatter you. Sometimes, it sets you free. 2 months later, Olivia moved out. It wasn't a fight. No slammed doors. Just quiet. Mutual. I helped her carry boxes to the car. She hugged the dog goodbye. We stood too long in the driveway. both pretending not to search for reasons to stay. I still love you, she said. I know. And I still hate what I did. Good. You should. She flinched, but didn't argue. Growth, maybe. Will you be okay? She asked. Yeah. Eventually. She nodded, got in the car, and drove away with her life in the trunk. I walked back inside, alone, but lighter than I'd been in years. Grace came by later that week with takeout and her latest poetry journal. Is this weird? She asked as we sat on the floor with noodles between us. Me being here now? In your house? Without her? No, I said. It feels right. She smiled and took a sip of Thai iced tea. You know what's crazy? She said. This is the most stable relationship I've ever had. And it's brand new. Same, I admitted. But maybe we're not starting from scratch. Maybe we're picking up a thread that's been waiting all along. She liked that. Wrote it down. Over the next weeks, she kept showing up. Dinner, laundry, advice about buying a used car. Sometimes for no reason at all. And I kept making space. No forcing it. No rushing the bond. Just listening. Remembering. Taking pictures. One night, I asked, do you want to know about the day you were born? She hesitated, then nodded. Yeah, I think I do. I told her everything I knew. What Olivia told me. What I guessed. What I dreamed. When I finished, she was quiet. Then said, I don't think I need to forgive her. Not yet. But I'm not angry anymore. That's enough, I said. She studied me. You still love her? I thought about it. Let the truth rise. A little. But in the rear view. Not the kind of love that stays. She nodded. Good. That night, she left a small book on my kitchen table, her first printed zine. Inside cover, a note in her handwriting. To the man who showed up when it counted. My first true thing. Love you, Dad. I read it 3 times before the tears came. And for once, I let them. Because pain had brought us together. But truth was what built us. And love, real love, was what finally let us begin. A year passed. The air changed. Our routine settled. Life didn't get easier, just clearer. Grace moved into a little apartment nearby. Painted the walls soft green, filled it with secondhand books and mismatched mugs. She started reading her poetry at open mics. Sometimes, if I sat in the back and didn't draw attention, she'd perform something I recognized. Lines about echoes, silence, and finding solid ground. Olivia and I stayed in touch. Cordial. Respectful. She didn't date, at least not openly. I didn't ask. One afternoon, she stopped by to return a box of my old journals. She lingered in the doorway, watching Grace laugh with me in the kitchen. You did good, Olivia said quietly. We did. In the end. Still, I'm glad she has you. I nodded. She always did. She just didn't know. We didn't hug. Just shared the look of 2 people who'd walked through fire and survived it with scars, but without bitterness. That night, Grace called from her new place. I want you at my next reading, she said. But this one's different. How? It's about the beginning. About you. About the night I was almost lost, and what it means to be found. I didn't answer right away. Just held the phone like it carried more than words. I'll be there, I said. When I showed up, she saved me a seat in the front. She took the stage, microphone in hand, and began. I was never broken. I was hidden, and someone came looking. That's how I know I'm real. Her voice didn't shake. It soared. And in that moment, I realized something. The lies, the years, the heartbreak, none of it had the final word. Truth did. And sometimes, the truth doesn't just set you free. It gives you back the life you never knew you'd lost.